you know what else has done a lot of 85 and 95% dips? Ethereum did a 95% dip. Then it went from 88 to 5,000 after a 95% dip.
Thank you. Thank you. Please go forward.
Bitcoin dropped 85 all the time. I got into Bitcoin at 30. It dropped down to 2. That's a 93.5% drop. Then it went up to 13 and down to 266. Then it went up to 20K and down to 3K. Then it went up to 14 and down to 3,800. Then it went to 69K down to 17,600. Volatility is the price you pay for the world's best performing asset. So
I fucking love car washes.
Bitcoin dropped 75, Ethereum dropped 85, Hex dropped 95. Which one do you think is going to get up the hardest?
Hello everyone, I love car washes and I love mornings, afternoons and evenings, which I get to hang out with you guys. What a great way to start the day, chaps and chapesses. So my name's Dr. H. This is my live stream, which deals with wealth and health in the Chiro space and beyond. And so if you'd like to subscribe, do the subscribe thing, hit the bell, hit the notifications, because I do a lot of ad hoc stuff and my primary gig is chiropractic and not cryptopractic. This, by the way, is my assistant Satoshi, and he is going to be helping me throughout the stream. When I do the ad hoc discussions, we talk about authors. Specifically, I do a deep dive in authors outside of the scope of the chapter readings. I talk about other books, and I talk about discussions from the chat or comments. So if you're watching this during the chat, do leave a notification, do leave a comment there. In fact, chat with me as we get going. It's always good to see you guys. And if it is after the stream, then please go down below, leave a comment. If you know the books that we're discussing, then leave a question and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. I trust this is going out well to you lovely people out there. This is my first stream in this format, so technical things happen, and they seem to have happened already. But anyway, let's dive on and get straight into it. And so this stream goes out 12 midday Eastern time. That'll be 9 a.m. Pacific. If you're in Blighty, good old Blighty, 5 p.m. And those Australasians, they are asleep in bed or up and about, restlessly degenerating at 2 a.m. in the morning. Okay. Now, why have I started this process? We're going to discuss the 10 most influential books that have been influential to me. I had very humble beginnings. I'm doing very well now. And these books are without doubt the force multipliers that I've used throughout my journey to get the very best results. And and I just like to share it as a legacy. Now, why am I doing this? What business model is behind this? In my case, at this stage, there is absolutely no business model at all. I'm doing it because about 3 years ago, I went to write my will, and I realized there were 10 books that were very influential to me. So I wrote them down and was going to leave a list in my will for my children. I have grown-up children. And I thought, what an idiot. Why do you want to leave a list for your grown-up children? Why don't you just start reading to them? So that's exactly what I did. Now, unfortunately, they were growing up at the time, so they had very little time to share with me. So I only got through a few of them. However, the other day I went into my daughter's bedroom to chat with her, and beside her bed was sorry. There we go. So I'm just making sure this is streaming. And beside her bed was my #1 most influential book of all time. And I said to her, what are you doing? What are you doing with that book? And she said, I've been reading it, Dad. It's my favorite book. So it's one of the phrases I hear throughout my life, and is actually linked to chiropractic, is the things that you say, think, and do today can affect the lives of millions tomorrow. So just doing something very simple, like spreading ideas from The Richest Man in Babylon and from other books, can have, may influence you to do things in a certain way, which is going to bring you and your family and your family's family great wealth and great abundance. Because you can be wealthy, have a lot of money, but if you don't feel it, if you don't have the principle behind it, then you're never going to be abundant, no matter how much money you have. Okay, so that's kind of a little bit of a background. The other thing is my crypto mentors. I have many crypto mentors. Plankton, I talk about them on my channel here. My Plankton mentors, I have Dolphin mentors, Well mentors, and the Crypto God mentor. And one of the biggest and most important things is not to expect profit from the work of others. Now, let's be honest, at some level, I do expect some profit from the work of others, but I cannot sit and ignore things. I cannot disappear, because I want my community to grow, and that is why I'm doing this, okay? I want it to grow for them. I want it to grow for the people that come in and find the products that I'm excited about and that I believe in. But I just want to show it to them in a calm and emotionless way, so that they can see products, that crypto products, and how they can massively change your life. And the good thing is, through an understanding of Metcalfe's law, which is the more people that are in the crypto space, the more the price goes up. Okay, people talk about the more people in a specific coin, but the truth is it should not be coin against coin, because there are rails that exist in place for us to exchange between the coins. So the aim should be to bring more and more people into the crypto space, so that they acknowledge or that they understand the benefits of the crypto space to them and their families. the more people that are using crypto, the less they are using fiat. So it's not a matter of one crypto coin against another. It's a matter of let's get Metcalfe's law at play. Let's grow the community. And obviously, let's put our foot forward as a sensible choice, but also actually not even a sensible choice, as something that you look at and go, yes, that is a sort of community I want to be involved in. It's mature. It has gravitas. It has people backing it that talk a lot of sense. And indeed, the reason I go into my particular community is because the head of that community, the founder, I listened to about 40 or 50 hours of him speaking. And what he said made complete sense to me. It also resonated with my own personal philosophy. So that is why it's time for me to give back. The products he has are incredible. It's a force multiplier, it's a money multiplier, it's a value multiplier for sure. And those products, I'm certain in the future will revolutionize the world. Now, I have an unusual background. I'm big into chiropractic. I'm big into the latest ideas. I'm also big into crypto. The place I come from with chiropractic is the philosophy, the base philosophy of chiropractic is really simple, is that you have a power within you that heals and repairs, and you should be allowed to express. Now, the primary idea behind crypto is that there's a way of expressing your value which is outside of the control of a middleman, be it the government, be it the banks, be it whatever. So you can express your value through crypto without a middleman being there. And it's a brand new idea. Like, modern medicine is 5,000 years old. So in comparison, chiropractic, which is only 125 years old, is very modern. When you compare it to the age of the earth or the age of humankind, 350,000 years, 125 years is nothing. And crypto is now 12 or 13 years old. In fact, 12 or 13 years old. When you compare, if you go back to 2012, so 12 years, so 3.5 cycles. Compare it to the existence of money 2,000-3,000 years ago as a value exchange using gold, then the idea of crypto is very, very new. We are insanely early. Okay. Now, I'm a Gen X. In 1994, I was in the military, a military engineer in the Royal Navy. And my friends, I was a surface engineer. I was on warships, HMS Minerva, Cumberland, HMS Illustrious, so the fighting ships. But my friends were on submarines. They were submariners, and submariners are known to get paid early. So they have a lot of money. They say they get paid more. We say they get paid early because they don't tend to live as long as the rest of us. So a particular friend of mine, he always had the latest gear, had the latest computers. So this is 94. So at the age of 14, so 84, the first home computers came out. And I owned one, and I was kind of into that. I was a programmer. I used BASIC, and it took me 24 hours to program a blip to move across the screen, and that was it. And that I did that from a magazine, and it literally was my weekend. But then fast forward 10 years, the first shopping happens on the internet. Before that, it was a junkyard. In fact, in 94, my friend, he always had the latest things. We were talking to him about the internet. What's this internet about? He says, a load of junk. It's just the biggest junkyard. And then, blow me, fast forward 20 years, massive complexes, shopping complexes, Sears collapse, Amazon takes over, the high streets are almost dead unless they have a special niche they can survive in. And that is all because of the internet. Now, if I could have invested in the internet back in 94, took some of that value and brought it into my family, my children, and left it as a legacy, that'd be incredible. But that didn't even exist. But now, with the idea of crypto, that does exist, okay? But there's a problem. Now, a lot of people that are coming into crypto very young, they haven't been brought up with books, they've been brought up with computers. There's a lot of knowledge. And at the end of the day, whether it comes from a computer, whether it comes from a book, whether it comes from a picture, it doesn't really matter. What your aim to do is, I would suggest, you can do whatever you want, of course, is to extract the information from whatever format that is. Okay. Now, one of my chiropractic mentors did a course on speed reading. He said, average life, you read 40,000 books. So it behooves you to read the ones that are most impactful. And he says you should write all over the book, do whatever you need to do to draw the information out of the book. Now, this is The Richest Man in Babylon. This is where we're going to start our journey. And thank you for joining me. If you're in, just say hey in the chat, spank the like, boop the subscribe, or do all that good stuff. And the reason I asked you to do that is my main job is chiropractic. I don't do this. I'm just doing this because I want to reach out and add to the community. This isn't my main gig. I don't do it for a business. So when I get an opportunity to, for example, I want to talk about George Clason. He was the author of The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, he was an American who invented the first atlas, the first map of Canada and the US. Now, I want to do a little piece on him, but I don't want to do it in this format because this is all about chapter 1 of The Richest Man in Babylon. Okay, I'm just going to see if I can pull up just a couple of other little things I've got. Right, if you're out there in the chat, throw something out there. Say hello, spank the like, pump your bags by sharing my info. And I am having a little trouble finding the stream. Anyway, so whack some comments and then I'll circle back. If you're watching this afterwards, put some comments down below. I'll circle back and leave a comment. Right, okay, so with no further ado, let us dive in. Now, the reading is going to take about 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. I have got some wicked graphics I'm going to share with you as I get going, if I can do this. So I'm actually going to see if I can pull these up a second. If you just live with my pause, I will be back with you as soon as I can, because I am not the sort of person that can multitask, I'm afraid. I'm a one-trick pony. Okay. Right, you're going to lose my mic. Okay. Almost there, guys. All right. Okay, right now we are up. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. The Richest Man in Babylon, Chapter 1, The Man Who Desired Gold. Bansir, the chariot builder of Babylon, was thoroughly discouraged. From his seat upon the low walls surrounding his property, he gazed sadly at his simple home and the open workshop in which stood a partially completed chariot. His wife frequently appeared at the open door. Her furtive glances in his direction reminded him that the meal bag was almost empty and he should be at work finishing the chariot, hammering and hewing, polishing and painting, stretching taut the leather over the wheel rims, preparing for it for delivery so he could collect from his wealthy customers. Nevertheless, his fat, muscular body sat stolidly upon the wall. His slow mind was struggling patiently with a problem from which he could find no answer. The hot tropical sun, so typical of this valley of the Euphrates, beat down upon him mercilessly. Beads of perspiration formed upon his brow and tickled down unnoticed to lose themselves in the hairy jungle on his chest. Beyond his home towered the high terrace walls surrounding the king's palace. Nearby, cleaving the blue heavens, was the painted tower of the Temple of Bel. In the shadow of such grandeur was his simple home and many others far less neat and well cared for. Babylon was like this, a mixture of grandeur and squalor, of dazzling wealth and direst poverty, crowded together without plan or system within the protecting walls of the city. Behind him, had he cared to turn and look, the noisy chariots of the rich jostled and crowded aside the sandaled tradesmen as well as the barefooted beggars. Even the rich were forced to turn into the gutters to clear the way for the long lines of slave water carriers on the king's business, each bearing a heavy goatskin of water to be poured upon the hanging gardens. Bansir was too engrossed in his home problems to hear or heed the confused hubbub of the busy city. It was the unexpected twanging of the strings from a familiar lyre that aroused him from his reverie. He turned and looked into the sensitive, smiling face of his best friend, Cobby the musician. "May the gods bless thee with great liberality, my good friend," began Cobby with an elaborate salute. "Yet it does appear that they have already been so generous thou needest not labour. I rejoice with thee in thy good fortune. Nay, I would even share with it. Pray for that from thy purse, which must be bulging, else thou would be busy in your shop, extract but 2 humble shekels, and lend them to me until after the nobleman's feast this night. Thou wilt not miss them ere they're returned." "If I did have 2 shekels," Bansir responded gloomily, "to no one would I lend them, not even you, my best of friends, for they would be my fortune, my entire fortune. No one lends his entire fortune, not even to his best friend." "What?" exclaimed Cobby with genuine surprise. "Thou hast not 1 shekel in thy purse, yet sit like a statue upon the wall? Why not complete that chariot? How else canst thou provide for thy noble appetite? 'Tis not thee, my friend. Where is thy endless energy? Doth something distress thee? Have the gods brought to thee troubles?" "A torment from the gods it must be," Bansir agreed. "It began with a dream, a senseless dream in which I thought I was a man of means. From my belt hung a handsome purse heavy with coins. There were shekels which I cast with careless freedom to the beggars. There were pieces of silver which I did buy finery for my wife, and whatever I did desire for myself. There were pieces of gold which made me feel assured of the future and unafraid to spend the silver. A glorious feeling of contentment was within me. You would not have known me for thy hard-working friend, nor wouldst have known my wife, so free from wrinkles was her face and shining with happiness. She was again the smiling maiden of our early married days." "A pleasant dream indeed," commented Cobby, "but why should such pleasant feelings as it aroused turn thee into a glum statue upon the wall?" "Why, indeed, because when I awoke and remembered how empty was my purse, a feeling of rebellion swept over me. Let us talk of it over together, for, as the sailors do say, we ride in the same boat, we 2. As youngsters, we were together to the priest to learn wisdom. As young men, we shared each other's pleasures. As grown men, we have always been close friends, family friendly. We have been contented subjects of our time. We have been contented subjects of our kind. We have been satisfied to work long hours and spend our earnings freely. We have earned much coin in the years that have passed. Yet to know the joys that comes from wealth, we must dream about them. Bah, are we more than dumb sheep? We live in the richest city in the world. The travellers say none doth equal its wealth. About us is such a display of wealth, but of it ourselves we have naught. Half a lifetime of hard labour, thou, my best friend, hast an empty purse, and sayest to me, "May I borrow such a trifle as 2 shekels until the nobleman's feast this night?" Then what do I reply? Do I say, "Here is my purse. Its contents I will gladly share with you"? Lost my page. No, I admit that my purse is as empty as thine. What is the matter? Why cannot we acquire silver and gold, more than enough to feed and robes? Consider also our sons, Bansir continued. Are they not following in our footsteps? Need they and their families and their sons' families live all their lives in the midst of such treasures and gold, and yet, like us, be content to banquet upon sour goat's milk and porridge? Never in all the years of our friendship didst thou talk like this before, Bansir. Cobby was puzzled. Never in all the years of our friendship didst thou talk like this before, Bansir. Cobby was puzzled. Never in all those years did I think like this before. From early dawn until darkness stopped me, I have labored to build the finest chariots any man could make, soft-heartedly, someday hoping the gods would recognize my worthy deeds and bestow upon me great prosperity. This they have never done. At last I realize they will never do. Therefore my heart is sad. I wish to be a man of means. I wish to own land and cattle and have fine robes. Yes, I do. I'm willing to work for these things with all the strength in my back, with all of the skill of my hands, with all of the cunning of my mind, but I wish my labors to be fairly rewarded. What's the matter with us? Again, I ask you, why cannot we have our just share of the good things so plentiful for those who have gold with which to buy them? Would I know the answer? Cobby replied. No better than thou am I satisfied. My earnings from the lyre are quickly gone. Often must I plan and scheme that my family be not hungry. Also within my breast is a deep longing for a lyre large enough that it may truly sing the strains of music that do surge through my mind. With such an instrument I could make music finer than even the king has heard before. Such a lyre you should have. No man in all of Babylon could make it sing more sweetly. Could make it swing most sweetly. Not only the king, but the gods themselves would be delighted. Yes, they would. But how mayest thou secure it while both of us are as poor as the king's slave? Listen to the bell. Here they come. He pointed to the long column of half-naked, sweating water-bearers plodding laboriously up the narrow street from the river. 5 abreast they marched, each bent under a heavy goatskin of water. A fine figure of a man, he who doth lead them. Steady. Cobby indicated the wearer of the bell who marched in front without a load. A prominent man in his own country, 'tis easy to see. There are many good figures in the line, Bansir agreed. As good men as we. Tall blonde men from the north, laughing black men from the south, little brown men from the nearer countries, all marching together from the river to the gardens, back and forth, day after day, year after year. Naught of happiness to look forward to, beds of straw upon which to sleep, hard grain porridge to eat. Pity the poor brutes, Cobby. Pity them I do, yet thou dost make me see how little better off are we, free men though we call ourselves. That is the truth, Cobby, unpleasant though it be. We do not wish to go on year after year living slavish lives, working, getting nowhere. Might we not find out how others acquire gold and do as they do, Cobby inquired. Perhaps there is some secret we might learn if we but sought from those who knew, replied Bansir thoughtfully. This very day, suggested Cobby, I did pass our old friend. Arcad. I did pass our old friend Arcad riding in his golden chariot. This I will say, he did not look over my humble head as many in his station might consider his right. Instead, he did wave his hand that all onlookers may see him, pay greeting and bestow a smile of friendship upon Cobby, the musician. He is claimed to be the richest man in all of Babylon, Bansir mused. So rich, the king is said to seek his golden aid in affairs of the treasury. So rich, Bansir interrupted, I fear if I should meet him in the darkness of the light, I should lay my hands upon his fat wallet. Nonsense, reproved Cobby. A man's wealth is not in his purse he carries. A fat purse quickly empties if there be no golden stream to refill it. Steady. Arcad has an income that constantly keeps his purse full, no matter how liberally he spends. Income, that is the thing, ejaculated Bansir. I wish an income that will keep flowing into my purse, whether I sit upon the wall or travel to the far lands. Arcad must know how a man can make an income for himself. Just suppose it's something he could make clear to a mind as slow as mine? Methinks he did teach his knowledge to his son Nomasir, Cobby responded. Did he not go to Nineveh, and so it is told at the inn, became without aid from his father one of the richest men in the city? Cobby, thou bringest to me a rare thought. A new light gleamed in Bansir's eyes. It costs nothing to ask wise advice from a good friend, and Arcad was always that. Never mind, though our purses be as empty as the falcon's nest of a year ago. Let that not detain us. We are weary of being without gold in the midst of plenty. We wish to become men of means. Come, let us go to Arcad and ask how we also may acquire income for ourselves. Thou speakest with true inspiration, Bansir. Let's get back in the voice. Thou speakest with true inspiration, Bansir. Thou bringest to mind a new understanding. Thou makest me to realize the reason why we have never found any measure of wealth. We never sought it. Thou hast labored patiently to build the staunchest chariots in Babylon. To that purpose was devoted your best endeavors. Therefore, at it thou didst succeed. I strove to become a skillful lyre player. And at it, I did succeed. In those things towards which we exerted our best endeavors, we succeeded. The gods were content to let us continue thus. Now at last we see a light, brought like that from the rising sun. It biddeth us to learn more, that we may prosper more. With a new understanding, we shall find honorable ways to accomplish our dreams. Let us go to Arcad this very day, Bansir urged. Also, let us ask other friends of our boyhood days who have fared no better than ourselves to join us, that they too may share in his wisdom. Thou wert ever thoughtful of thy friends, Bansir. Therefore hast thou many friends. It shall be as thou sayest. We go this day and take them with us. And here endeth chapter 1. Okay, guys, I know that isn't necessarily the most dynamic way to get information on YouTube, but do leave a comment. I will try and see if I can actually get onto the chat now. My chat seems to have been taken over by something. So I ain't doing too good here. I can see it playing, but I cannot see my chat. So those of you that turned up, this is going to happen every Sunday. I think it's a nice way to have a Sunday afternoon, morning, or evening input, just nice and chill. We're going to go through 10 of the most influential books that have inspired me and inspired millions and millions and millions of people, not just me. And man, I really can't see the chat here. I can't even ask you to show me in the chat where I find it because you ain't here. I can't see it. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Okay, right, yes. So stuff you'd like to see. So the next chapter we're doing is chapter 2, and it is called The Richest Man in Babylon. And spoiler, they're going to go and speak to the richest man in Babylon. So we'll go through that next time. Now, if you have any comments so far, things that came to you while we were talking, or things that you really like in this particular book, The Richest Man in Babylon, or a book that inspires you, perhaps I'll use it in the future, do pop it in the chat, pop it in the comments. I will circle back around and check it all out. Apologies, I will have my tech sorted out. I think it's going to be an ongoing problem. As I say, this isn't my main gig. If I get this as good as I'd like to get it, I'll probably have to spend 100 hours a week to get it as we like. Okay, so my name is Dr. H. I am the Cryptopractor. The idea of my live stream is to bring ideas of wealth and health in the crypto space and beyond. Now, on this channel, there are crypto principles for beginners, new blossoming neophytes, and the next generation OG, like me. All right, so check those videos out. Give them a like, share them around. There is also 10 languages. Each of my videos is translated to 10 languages. So if you just send it to a friend that maybe doesn't speak English, wants to know about crypto, just tell them to switch on the subtitles and they will have the information. They'll be able to suck that information. Remember, it doesn't matter whether it's a book, a video being played at two times the speed, or you know, your streamers, your technical streamers. And I will give a shout out. And today's video actually has not, I repeat, not been sponsored by hex.com. So I'll just say again, the video today has not, I repeat, not been sponsored by hex.com. Hex.com is the premier, with the highest return, the premier certificate of deposit on the blockchain, in fact, in the world. It was the first one to be produced. It's been running flawlessly for a long time, 4+ years, and I like it, okay? And this video was not, repeat, not sponsored by hex.com. All right, guys, I look forward to seeing you next week, 12 o'clock Eastern, at 5 p.m. if you are over in the Blighties, and 2 a.m. if you're back in the Australasias. And obviously you guys can intelligent enough to work out the times for yourself, for your own particular area. Okay, have a great week. Enjoy your crypto. May your bags blossom massively. Dr. H out.